Daily Broadside, day 509. We're back on track. I couldn't count for a couple days, nor could I type apparently, but we're there. I learned yesterday that lobsters can regrow their antennae and their legs and their claws if they get them ripped off or damaged or lost in a fight. I don't know what. And it can sometimes, it could take a couple months, it could take a couple years, depending on the severity of the damage to their extremity or their limb. I thought to myself, man, lobsters are like the Swamp Thing. Remember when he's in that movie and that little twig grows out of his arm because he can see the sun, which was kind of weird if you think about it. But I think it would be cool if humans were like that. There's a lot of people out there that don't have legs, don't have arms. They've lost them through cancers or other diseases. They've lost them in accidents. They were born without them. And I don't know how that would work if you were born without a limb, if you could then grow a limb, because obviously whoever created you or whatever created you decreed that you didn't get to have a limb. So I don't know if you could then be born. Like if you were born without an arm, right? You just had one arm and it was just cut off over here. Could you then come into life, go down the birth canal, sprout out, and then grow an arm? I don't know if that violates some law of biology in the sense of what we're talking about here. But at the very least, you could definitely do it if you lost one, right? Like if you started off with one, you get to recreate what you started off playing the game with. And I think it'd be kind of cool, man, because somebody'd be like, oh, did you hear about Bob? You'd be like, what happened to Bob? You're at the barber shop or the corner grill or whatever, and you're talking, what the hell happened to Bob, that crazy bastard? And they're like, oh, he got his arm caught in the PTO of a tractor, ripped his right arm right off, just snatched it right off. And you're like, that crazy bastard. He's always doing. That was like a third time he's done that. That dude, boy, I would say he just loves a long road to recovery, and you're like, and everybody's laughing it up because we know that Bob will get, sutured up, and then in a couple years he'll grow another arm, and he'll probably go off and do some other farm problem. He just likes the challenge of growing arms, and I don't think we'd get so depressed, because right now, if you called and said, hey man, Uncle John got caught in a tractor and PTO just ripped his arm right off his body, you'd be like, oh my God. Let's get a GoFundMe. What are we going to do? We got to get him some help. He could lose his livelihood and blah, 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 and it's a really sad thing. And I'm not making light of that part. It is. I mean, it sucks when you lose a limb, especially if it's the one you're right with, because, and when you do start making money, you got to learn to write a check, sign a check with your offhand, which I can write with both hands. But I'm a little weird with that kind of stuff anyway. But anyway, I think it would be cool if we were a little bit more lobster is that a crustacean? Lobsters are crustacean, or they're not a mollusk. Crustacean? Maybe there's another word for them. The genus, family, species, order, phylum, class. I think I got them all. I don't know. Order, phylum. Phylum's the only weird word there. But anyway, Freddie Mercury did not fix his goofy looking teeth, and that dude had some jacked up teeth. He did not fix his teeth because, in his opinion, he was scared that it would change the complexity of his voice. And I'm gonna do my impression of Freddie Mercury pre and post dental surgery. And forgive me, I'm not exactly Freddie Mercury, but it would be, Mama, ooh, right? And be all pretty, and everybody be like, God, Queen, got their lighters in the air. It's just Queen, awesome. And then I, as Freddie, would go get my teeth like put back in and fixed where I look, fairly normal and all. And then it'd be like, Mama, ooh, and it would just be on the mic. We've got a new sound with Queen because my teeth look damn good. I just sound like shit right now. And that's just how we would roll. And people would either buy my old albums and not listen to the new stuff, or we would find somebody. I would still write. I could still play piano. I could still compose. I could still had some musical talent. I just didn't have, the vibrato that came off my old teeth, with my new teeth, and that's fine with me, because that dude, you could tell the only reason he had a mustache was to help hide the teeth, which I'm convinced that people have really, really fluffy, bouffant-like mustaches. It's either to hide bad teeth, or it's either to hide like a cleft palate, hair lip, whatever you call it. That's the only two reasons, because just an insane, or you're like a Civil War general. That would work too. because none of the, like you do reenactments in the present, because none of those other three would work at all whatsoever. And none of the other things make any sense why you would have that much hair on your face. Mustaches don't need to be that insanely large, if you know what I mean. And apparently Creed has gotten back together. The band. Well, I just heard the news today. It seems my life. God, I survived Creed 1. I can't do Creed 2. I can't do it. Damn it. Unless they get a different singer. I think if they got a different singer, like if you put Eddie Vedder in Creed, and I just thought of this. I'd like to hear a Creed band with Eddie Vedder fronting them. Like Eddie Vedder needs to join a Creed, what do you call those bands? Tribute band, right? I think, and not sing it like Scott Stapp. Sing it like Eddie would sing it. There'd probably be some really good songs, right? And it wouldn't be that bad, but it's his voice. It's so off-putting, and I can't listen to that crap anymore. I can't listen to them create new. All the songs. Nobody wants to hear that. Well, somebody did, because they sold a hell of a lot of records back in the day, but nobody should want to hear that. And maybe this is what we needed. We needed, what was that, like 95, 97, somewhere in there. Maybe that's what we need, is some time off from Creed to go back and realize that Creed 2 is not what we need in our life, because Creed 1 really did suck, and we just didn't recognize it at the time because we were just so in love. I think I just did Whitney Houston. And I believe the children are... I just did Scott Stapp singing not We Are the World. Children are the future. I'm going to be doing this all day long. Y'all have a great afternoon. And it's only like 10 o'clock. Y'all have a great morning that will lead you into a great lunch period. And that will then defer itself into a fine afternoon and an outstanding evening. Look at it.